Kahit na magpatayo ka ng 100-story building there, the point of reckoning is always the original state of the feature. Pag underwater yan, hindi pwede makonsider na rock yan, and therefore, it has no territorial sea. So in this particular case, this reef was declared as part of our exclusive economic zone. Yung malapit, yung Ayungin Shoal, nasa ilalim ng dagat, atin din yan. Yung napakalaking recto bank, or the international name is Reed Bank, about 8,000 square kilometers, sa atin din, part of our exclusive economic zone. Ang hindi ba lang, ito yung Reed Bank na yan, ito, napakalala dito. Malapit sa Palawan din. Dito, this is supposed to be very rich in oil, natural gas and oil. At marami ng application dito para service contract, pero parating in-oppose ng China. Malaki na sana pilitan natin dito kung ito ay talagang hindi pinakailaman ng China. And under yung hindi lang sinabing atin, yung Scarborough Shoal. Kasi ang Scarborough Shoal, rock, it protrudes above the water even at high tide. So, it is considered a rock. And therefore, hindi nila ma-decide. Walang desisyon sila pagdating sa lupa. So ano sabi ng arbitral tribunal? Pagdating sa fishing, the traditional fishing countries like the Philippines and China can share in the fishing there. Kaya dapat open para sa China at Pilipinas yung Scarborough Shoal. Pero hindi ito ginalang ng China. And I'd like to also make the reminder, it is our duty, nakalagay kasi sa ating konstitusyon, Article 12, Section 2 of our Constitution, the state shall protect the nation's marine wealth in its archipelagic waters, territorial sea, and exclusive economic zone, and reserve its use and enjoyment exclusively to Filipino citizens. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Ang sabi, ang Mischief Reef, yung Reed Bank, yung West Philippine Sea, exclusive economic zone yan, duty, constitutional duty ni Toti Roldan, ni Roilo Golez, ni Presidente Duterte, ni Secretary Yasay, ng Philippine Navy, ng Philippine Air Force, ng lahat ng Pilipino. Kasi pag sinabing state, ayaw lahat yan. To protect the nation's marine wealth. Hindi pwedeng hindi natin proteksyonan yan. It is our constitutional duty. So, ito, puntaan natin ito. Very important since binabanggit ni Katote kanina ang patriotism. Of course, China won't accept the Hague sovereignty arbitration. Marami silang mga pahayag kagad. In fact, bago pa lumabas yung July 12 ruling, nagkaroon na sila ng live fire exercise near the area. Before the July 12 ruling, alam nila, lalabas ang ruling ng July 12 about a week before. Merong live fire exercise. Parang, kumbaga kayo, meron kayong away ng lupa. Yung kalaban mo, nakikita mo, nagpakaputok ng mga baril doon sa malapit sa lupa. Ganun ginawa nila. At right after the ruling of the arbitral tribunal, binas nila. This is the technical term used by the Air Force, no? Pinas, yung sabihin, lumipad ng mababa, yung kanilang strategic bomber. This is a strategic bomber. Hindi biro ito. Itong bomber na ito is an 6K bomber that is nuclear weapon capable. Lumipad malapit sa Scarborough Shoal bilang warning sa atin. So, doon pa lang, parang enough na nila ante. Pero marami mga bansa sumuporta sa atin. Mga world leaders reacted and asked China to respect the Hague ruling. Of course, our Foreign Affairs Secretary, right after, on the day that the ruling came out, July 12, nag-deliver siya ng speech during a press con, no? And he urged everyone to observe restraint and sobriety. Parang, ang reason niya, para huwag masyado magkapitunan. Para kalma lamang lahat, huwag tayong mag-gloat. Parang pag may basketball, halimbawa Ateneo Lasal, maglalaro mamaya. kung sino man ang manalo, huwag mangantyaw para hindi uminit, para kumalma ng konti. Yun ang sinabi niya. However, si Solicitor General Jose Calida, naglagay sila ng synopsis, no? Tapos ang sabi nga rito, yung Vietnam, nagpahayag din ng suporta. Ang US, nagpahayag ng suporta. Australia, yung New Zealand, yung Japan, India. Yung Vietnam, talagang mainit sila rito. Nagbiyak sila. And that's why a lot of people were saying at that time that it's going to be very difficult for China to ignore the arbitral tribunal ruling because of international pressure. Kasi halos sila na lang ang sumusuporta sa kanilang sarili, except maybe for Cambodia, and maybe a little of Laos, and maybe a little of North Korea. But there is practically no other country supporting their position with respect to the South China Sea. Ito yung pahayag ng US, South Korea. And then of course, nagkaroon sila ng symbolic gesture. Nagpadala sila ng aircraft carrier at ang kanilang defense chief, Secretary Carter, even boarded the aircraft carrier. Nagpunta sila doon para makita yung suporta. Of course, ang ginawa ng ating Presidente Duterte, kasi ang parang strategy nila ay huwag masyadong painitin, huwag kang mag-load. And in order to break the ice, President Duterte sent former President Fidel V. Ramos to talk with his counterparts in China, in Hong Kong actually. Siya ang naging special envoy natin to break the ice. Nagulat ang marami kasi nagpahayag si dating Presidente Ramos that he is willing to set aside the Hague ruling in China talks. Medyo, ano ba yan? Pwede ba naman pag-usapan yan? Pinaghirapan natin yung protesta na yan. Tapos i-set aside. Mabuti na lang, at yan ay kinurek. Sabi ni Presidente Duterte, allies' interest to be considered in talks with China. At meron sinabi rito, we do not also want to offend the US because we have identified ourselves as allied with the Western powers, according to President Duterte. So there's an interest which we should not forget. Our interest and the interest of our allies. Sino allies natin? Of course, our treaty ally, the United States, because of the MDT, dated 1951. There will be noong July 15, just a few days after the decision, sabi ni Presidente, Philippines, no concession to China over Sea Road. And I welcome that statement. They will not concede any of the awards given to us. And then the Philippines, noong July 18 or 18 yan, rejected China's offer to talk outside of court's ruling. Ito ang problema sa China. Sabi nila, pwede tayo mag-usap, even before, no? And I think that was the reason why President Aquino at that time decided to go to the arbitral tribunal. Dahil sabi ng China, pag-usapan natin. However, you must first recognize our sovereignty as indicated by the 9 dash line. Siyempre, hindi tayo papayag doon. Pag na-recognize natin, talo na tayo. Everything else will just be parang concession in our favor. But we lose our sovereignty already. And that's how it should be. We must assert our rights under UNCLOS as ruled by the arbitral tribunal. So, nireject ni Secretary Yasay yung offer ng China. This was a statement that he made on the reject niya. This was July 20. Secretary Yasay rejected that. And told the ANC that the Chinese asked them for talks, pero hindi pwede yung kondisyon nila na we accept their sovereignty. What are the options of China after the tribunal ruling? Maraming nangangamba that they're going to play hardball. One of the things that they can do is declare an air defense identification zone in the South China Sea. which they did about 2 years before in the East China Sea, which was ignored by the US and ignored by Japan. Isipin nyo, pag nag-declare sila ng ADIC dito, lahat ng mga aeroplanong dumadaan, we'll have to check with them, we'll have to report to them. So, yan ang mga possible na gagawin nila. Or, ang isa pa is, there's another scenario in order to strengthen their position, and that is, they can build an artificial island and create a new base on Scarborough Shoal. And that is really unacceptable. Kasi pag gumawa sila ng artificial island road, naglagay sila ng runway, kahit sabihin nila that is for civilian purposes, we know very well that a 3,000-meter runway is convertible for civilian and military use. The same way sa NAIA, nagagamit yan. Yung sa Clark, nagagamit for civilian as well as for military purposes. And the 3,000-meter runway in Mississippi, in Parish Reef, especially in particular, and in Subi Reef, can accommodate all the aircraft inventory of the Chinese military. Bombers, fighter planes, transport, even big planes. In fact, yung dry run nila sa Mississippi, ang ginamit nila is a wide body, katulad ng mga sinasakyan natin pag lilipat tayo from Manila to Cebu, from Manila to Singapore. That is how usable that runway is. And that is what a lot of people are worried they may construct in Scarborough Shoal. And dito, nagkaroon ng statement dito that their forces will keep operating in the South China Sea. This was July 20. Pero nagsalita din ang China, sabi ng China, nagkakaroon ng face-off because they said that the commander of the Chinese North Sea Fleet, sinabi kay USA Chief, underscored the importance of local and safe operations in the South China Sea. And they want that professional navies must operate. Now, ito ang strategic situation. Ito ang Scarborough Shoal. Ito yung Spratlys, katapat ng Palawan. Ang pinaka-worry natin dito, and this was discussed when I attended a meeting of those involved in strategic matters in Japan. Ang pinaka-worry of the troop, may mga Australian doon, may mga Amerikano, may Malaysian, may Japanese, may Vietnamese. Ang worry is that China is planning to construct a strategic triangle in the South China Sea, consisting of, the first point, Woody Island, already existing sa Paracels. Meron ng runway dyan. Meron ng mga fighter planes dyan. May missile defense dyan. Tapos yung cluster of reclamations, particularly Mississippi, Subi, and Parish dito sa baba. And then the last point of the strategic triangle, the triangle nito, would be Scarborough Shoal. And if they succeed in doing that, kontrolado nila yung South China, itong South China Sea nito. And that is going to tilt the balance of power. Ang question na dyan, papayag ba yung mga ibang powers dyan? Like the US, like Japan. So maraming ang nag-war is war probable in the South China Sea because of the convergence of very powerful countries there. Ano yung mga nagko-converge dyan? Nagpadala ng warship ang US dyan sa Pacific Theater. Nagkaroon sila ng exercise, dalawang aircraft carriers, joint exercise, very rare, sending a message, ito, combined carriers operation. May mga B-52 bombers pa sila na pinakita dyan, ang US. Tapos makita mo yung convergence sa mga forces dito, no? Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Taiwan, China, Vietnam. And then very recently, nagkaroon ng Malabar exercise in the Okinawa area, participated in by India, Japan, and the US. And India, for the first time, said that it was not just a port visit, but an operational deployment of their navy. Ang navy ng India is quite sizable. They have, India is the top 10 as far as military power is concerned in the world. They have 2 aircraft carriers, They can construct their own aircraft carriers.